this year?
Well, he just has to accomplish something. That's all. Just accomplish something. Like
Show
to
me
be.
something.
Yeah, no, he has shown me things. It's actually, now I'm doing a different version of semantics. I've seen a lot of positive things from Justin Herbert. Just unfortunately, none of them have resulted in any tangible accomplishment. He's never led the league in any category. He's never won a playoff game. He doesn't have even like the kind of marred accomplishment of an amazing regular season and then the playoff, like 13-3, but then you lose in the playoff game. There's just, if we were to rank active starting quarterbacks by accomplishment, he doesn't make the top 15.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he
real.
did have that, that oft-quoted stat, most yards ever in the first 5 years.
But if I did it, and we could, but it would be in no particular order, but I'll do as close to order as we can. The Mahomes, Rodgers, right? Or obviously ahead of him.
Yeah.
And then, stop me if I say someone who's not. Josh, Lamar, Joe, we're at 5. Russell Wilson, Joe Flacco's still a starter. We're at 7. Jalen Hurts, we're at 8. Baker Mayfield, Matt Stafford, we're at 10. Brock Purdy, we're at 11. Jaden Daniels, we're at 12. Jared Goff, who I didn't even mention, he's been to a Super Bowl and has multiple good playoff runs.
Are you just saying winning?
I'm saying
a playoff game.
Well, not just winning a playoff game, have led the. And I could have, if it was just winning a playoff game, you'd put CJ ahead of him because he's done that twice. But if you haven't won any playoff games, if you've only made a Pro Bowl once, if you've never led the league in anything, and those other guys are all playing, so again, the talent is the talent, and the talent is top 10 in the league. But he has to, at the end of year 6, you've got to have accomplished something.
This is just one of those things that continues to be so irritating. Because we know Nick loves Trevor Lawrence. We know that, obviously. And yet he will defend and explain into what do you want him to do. He's had bad coaching, bad roster, injuries, etc., etc. And yet with Justin Herbert, there's no benefit of the doubt. And you want to talk about accomplishments. We want to say that Baker Mayfield or someone like that or Daniel Jones or any of these other quarterbacks are apparently more accomplished. And then now we want to use this arbitrary, has never led the league in anything. And it's just like, okay, well, he's been top in a lot of categories as well. And these are accomplishments. I mean, someone just has to tell me in what world is this not an accomplishment? Most passing yards in a quarterback's first 2 seasons. Most passing yards in a quarterback's first 3 seasons. Most passing yards in a quarterback's first 4 seasons. Most passing yards in a quarterback's first 5 seasons. Most completions in a quarterback's first 5 seasons. Most passing touchdowns by a rookie quarterback. Most total touchdowns by a rookie quarterback. Most 300-yard passing games by a rookie quarterback. Most completions by a rookie quarterback. Most games with at least 3 touchdown passes by a rookie. Most total touchdowns in a quarterback's first 2 seasons. First quarterback in to record 30 touchdown passes in each of his first 2 seasons. Most completions in his first 50 NFL games. Most consecutive seasons of 4,000 passing yards to begin a career. 3. Yet you want to say, well, he wasn't the leading. He never led the NFL in touchdowns or something. Like, okay, like it's just kind of crazy. And you want to say, oh, he has to do this by the end of year 6, right? So he's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's had 3 coaches. He's had 3 coaches, and 2 of those coaches will never be a head coach in the NFL ever again. And we're just going to pretend like that doesn't matter. I would like to know why or how that's the case. That's what I would like to know. And I would like to know in what universe is throwing for 5,000 yards and 38 touchdowns with a bad coach not an amazing accomplishment. That's what I would like to know. I'm genuinely confused how something like that is not an awesome accomplishment. And then same thing following that up in 22, where you now throw for 4,700 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Like, in what world are these not showing you kind of how great you are? Like, you're willing, like Nick's willing to crown Geno Smith and say, this guy's been great. Look what he's been doing. He hasn't had good teams, hasn't had great coaching, and hey, look what he's been able to accomplish. And it's like, huh? If you're saying that Geno Smith's accomplished, then you better say Justin Herbert is. I mean, I really don't get it. I really, really, really don't get it. And then you want to pretend and say, well, he's never had a year where he's been really great. And then, no, he had a great year, but then the playoffs just got away from him. I mean, he was top 5 quarterback last year. He had 91.7 PFF rating, 101.7 passer rating. Like, I'm confused. Had the best touchdown to interception ratio in the NFL. That's not great. And again, you want to put some of the lack of success, the team success, all on Justin Herbert. Like, that makes sense. It doesn't. It really doesn't. And I'm not going to do whole deep dives right now, honestly, because I've already done it with Justin Herbert and you know, the playoff games and regular seasons and the amount, the quality of roster that he's had, and yeah, just the sheer fact that he led this team to the playoffs last year was pretty remarkable, considering how terrible they were the year before when Staley's gotten fired, right? Like, the team was legitimately on fire. And just even getting this team with an absolute inconsistent run game, a rookie slot receiver as his legitimate only weapon, his other wide receiver just literally can't catch the ball, his running back can't stay healthy. It's Harbaugh's first year in the NFL in almost like a long time. I don't know the exact timeline, but a long stretch of time. And got into the division, was able to find himself into the playoffs in the AFC, which is like the hardest conference in the history of the NFL, and in the division with Patrick Mahomes and the Denver Broncos, another playoff team, so 2 playoff teams, and yet it's not, it's like that's not anything. But again, Geno Smith, who couldn't even get his team in the NFC, the weak, lowly NFC, couldn't even get into the playoffs, doesn't matter. Who also had DK Metcalf, mind you. But, we're prepared to say Geno Smith's great. Like, right now, Nick would say that Geno Smith is better than Justin Herbert. And I obviously wholeheartedly disagree with that. And I like Geno Smith. I think Geno Smith is surprisingly, pretty impressive, honestly. But that's where then we're not being consistent with the logic and how we're evaluating an individual quarterback in any given moment. Like, that's why I'm using Geno Smith as the reference point, because I'm not going to start talking about Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. That's been there, done that, and there's no point in that right now. Since we're looking at quarterback, even a Baker Mayfield or whatnot, I mean, Nick would say that Baker's career really wasn't that good in Cleveland, okay? And yet, essentially, Justin Herbert has just never left Cleveland. His first 4 years of his career was essentially with Freddie Kitchens, okay? And the fact that he's been able to overcome that and still show how great he is in ways that we were not able to see Sam Darnold do. We were not able to see Baker Mayfield do. We were not able to see Geno Smith do. Any of these other quarterbacks, we were not able to see them do, but we were able to still see the greatness from Justin Herbert. That is an accomplishment to me. Just because you didn't find your way to still make the playoffs or win a playoff game, no fault of his own. No fault of his own. And people will be like, well, Baker Mayfield won a playoff game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's like, I went through that game. I went through the highlights because Nick tried to pretend that Baker Mayfield's like just the greatest playoff performer of all time, and I was like, whoa, let's talk about how some of those stats were accomplished. Okay, that Pittsburgh Steelers team was an absolute mess. It was just turnover after turnover. I mean, like it was. I mean, when I went back and went through the film of that game and made a video about it, I was just like, I like this is insane. And like, so Justin Herbert was never on the receiving end of that. He was never given that luxury of essentially having things like handed to him. In fact, things have only ever been taken from him. Even this past year, he was playing injured. You know, he was kind of having that plantar fasciitis type of issue and ankle issue, and like those things don't really get better. You like at least as you're putting wear and tear, especially the plantar fasciitis, like it just becomes a little bit more manageable as the season's going, but like that inflammation and that pain like never fully gets shut down. Like that, the only way how that really gets shut down is by getting off your feet and not playing football in the NFL. Like it's just rest and like kind of like low impact exercise and strengthening stuff, but it's certainly not like, well, you're just gonna, you know, it's just gonna get better and better as time goes on, and you're just gonna keep playing. Like it's just like, not necessary. And so, you know, that's also impressive. Again, if we want to point out other players who have overcome injuries and this or that and praise them for, it's like, well, and have Justin Herbert enter the equation here. Have him enter the conversation. I don't get what like it is fascinating to me to see how when we're willing to defend a player. And when we just want to be like, well, Scott never did anything. Look how bad he is. And it's like, we see how someone like Nick will defend a Baker Mayfield's career, how he'll bash a Sam Darnold's career, defend a Geno Smith's career, a Kirk Cousins even career. But then Justin Herbert just apparently gets no benefit of the doubt, even though like we can clearly see how great of a quarterback he is and how elite of a quarterback he is. And so, you know, what's on line for Justin Herbert this year? In a lot of ways, nothing. Honestly. In a lot of ways, nothing. Because no matter what he does, it still won't be enough. The only way anyone would change their opinion, anyone who has like a tough time with their opinion, a tough time changing their opinion, I should say, Justin Herbert would have to beat Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. No other quarterback in the playoffs would count. Not Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, because it's the Bengals. They're terrible. Their defense, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Not even Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson, he chokes in the playoffs. He's not good, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes would have still that energy there. But obviously, of course, Patrick Mahomes being the most. So it's just like, that's the only way this moves at all. Because if he plays great but gets to the playoffs, we'll say he can't win. He can't play in the playoffs. He's not a good playoff performer. He's just not good. And if he beats someone in the playoffs, it's just like, wow, congrats. You beat you know, Bo Nix in his second year, or, you know, they'll just be like, oh, congrats, you beat some quarterback who I don't even think is that good, or, you know, like Bo Nix is the 18th best quarterback in the NFL. Like it'll be one of those arguments, or like, wow, you beat you know, the Indianapolis Colts who snuck into the playoffs via wild card or something, you know, like whatever it is. It won't be good enough. They try to downplay Josh Allen's playoff stats by saying, oh, you know, it's just on bad teams and stuff like that. So certainly not going to get the benefit of the doubt for Justin Herbert. That's for sure. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? What's on the line for Justin Herbert this year? And the Chargers as a whole, honestly. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.